Yes, you read that title correctly, or saw the thumbnail, or this video popped up randomly in your autoplay, but that doesn't matter, because it's true, Konami did make a Bible game. The same company that fired Hideo Kojima and is turning your favorite franchise into pachinko machines rather than making new games. If you don't know what a pachinko machine is, it's basically a casino slot machine, but a Japanese version of it. The game is called Noah's Ark, and it was released in 1992. Two interesting things about this game. This is the only Bible game to be officially licensed by Nintendo. You can tell because it has the iconic sticker on the box art, and it has the iconic gray cartridge, while the unlicensed ones, well, they rather had unique ones. Also, this game was only released in Europe and never reached America, which is weird since this was around the golden era of Konami and was mostly popular in North America. And I think that most of their games were exclusive to Japan for the Famicom, which is the Japanese NES. Also, I want to know how the business meeting went for approving this game, because why would Konami, a Japanese developer, make a Bible game and only release it in Europe? But it was probably a good thing for it to be released in Europe, since this was around the Satanic Panic in America, when a bunch of Christian parents saw video games as works of the devil. Even Pokemon wasn't safe. They claimed it was demonic since it had evolutions in it. But if it was released in America, they'll probably look at it in a good light since it's about the Bible. Well, anyways, since this game was only released in Europe, it won't work on any American NES console. It'll only work on European consoles. This is due to it being region locked. Any games sold in different regions were region locked, almost like DVDs if anyone remembers them. It still happens to this day with some Nintendo games and some Sony games which are exclusive to Japan, but people find a way to bypass them. But anyways, let's get to the game. When the main screen pops up, there's no music, which is weird because games around this time started to have at least some sort of music at the start, but they probably didn't have enough time to compose it, or it was too much storage, since NES games only had a storage up to kilobytes, and music file takes up a lot of storage. So everyone knows the story of Noah's Ark, in which Noah is tasked by God to get one pair of every animal due to God flooding the world, and Noah starts to construct the ark. But I don't think the story told about how Noah got all the animals, or the fact that Noah traveled around the whole world. Look, I haven't read Noah's Ark in a long time, but I'm pretty sure he stays in the Middle East. But yeah, that's the level system. It's Noah traveling around the world trying to save all the animals. Well, a couple of them. In the first level, he goes to Europe, or Greece. Then he goes to North America, South America, Antarctica, Egypt, and finally Asia. Now, when I first started playing, I was not expecting a side-scroller shoot 'em up, or I think anyone wasn't expecting that, since how would you make a game based on Noah's Ark? Well, I guess you can make a simulation game about it, but of all things a side-scroller shoot 'em up, that was not up my list. And surprisingly, this game is not that bad. It's actually really decent. Of course, there's still some problems with the game, but I'll get to them later. For each level, they have unique enemies, which is surprising, but I think it's just a sprite change. For the first level, you can fight against a Greek hoplite, but it's a normal enemy. Even later on, you can fight against a Native American, an Inca warrior, I think, an Eskimo, an Aborigine, and a Pharaoh. But the funniest enemy you get to fight against is in the final level in Asia, when you get to fight against a Chinese dragon and some random Japanese man. Yeah, you thought that Noah fighting against a Native American was weird? He gets to fight against a Chinese dragon. I really want to know what drugs they were taking when coming up with these enemies. So for every place you visit, it has up to 3 levels. So we have up to 21 levels because we get to visit 7 places. Every first level you get to fight against a mini-boss at the end, but it looks like some sort of drain plug. At first I thought it was some monster from Greek mythology, but no, I was wrong. It appears at every end of the level in every place. So the way Noah fights is interesting. He shoots orbs out of his body or hands. I thought he'd be using a staff, but I guess not. And there are different types of bullets, but some of them just change the pattern of how it's shot. No increased damage or the change of rate of fire, it just changes the pattern, and it happens randomly when you pick up something. Noah has 3 different power-ups that you can collect. One you could turn into a fish, one you could turn into a bird or just gain wings, and the last one you just turn into a statue. But half the time I couldn't even see the power-ups on the ground, since there were so many things going on the screen and they just pop out of nowhere when you shoot in the air. And when you pick them up, you're forced to switch to them without any warning. Half the time it nearly kills me, since I'm mostly using the power-up that makes you fly and they just suddenly drop out from the air. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, there's a flooding mechanic. If you take too long on the level, it starts to flood. So yeah, but it doesn't mess you up that bad. It just blocks some of the spike traps and forces you to be a fish if you have that power-up. And if you don't, well, you could already guess, you just sink and die. And I have no clue if the water fills up the screen, since I wouldn't get it to that point. I will either make it to the end of the level or just die. But I think if the screen fills up with water, I think you just get a game over. Also, you have to keep moving, because if you don't, the screen will kill you. And most of my deaths from dying from this game happened in the Egypt level. Look, I'm not that good when it comes to these retro games. I am a zoomer. I can't believe I just described myself like that. But I mostly grew up with the late 2000s and early 2010 games. I rarely played retro games during that time. The most I played was Super Mario Bros, Mega Man 2, and the original Sonic trilogy. But anyways, I kept dying to the statue power-up because you can't duck down when you have it, and you need to duck down to destroy the blocks in the Egypt level. And by the time I lose the power-up from damage, it was already too late. By the way, you lose your health very easily, as if there's no pattern when it comes to the enemies hitting you, because they only do 1 bit of damage and they can nearly kill you at the same time. Even the smallest enemies do it, like the bees and frogs in South America. America, and the frogs are the most annoying ones. They would jump and shoot you around the level in a random pattern, and they would just keep following you throughout the whole level. Even the life system is weird, because sometimes I would randomly lose lives in the middle of the game, and it would happen randomly, as it would just be shooting the enemies, and out of nowhere I just lose a life, and it was pretty difficult getting back the lives again. During the end of the game, I had to try hard as much as I can, because I had one more life left, and I really didn't want to replay the whole game again. Wait, I just realized something. If Noah can turn into a fish and have wings, why does he even need the Ark? Can he just give the powers to the animals too? And also too, can the people get the same powers too? It doesn't make any sense, but I'm probably reading it too much. But anyways, the sprite work is really good. Well, to me at least. Like for the levels, enemies, the icons on the world, and the bosses too. And this is a very bad segue if we're talking about the bosses. For the first world, at the very end, you fight a big fish. And this is when you're in the Greece level. It's not that bad of a boss fight, but it's really easy. The next boss fight is in North America, and well, it wasn't that hard, but I had a tough time fighting it. It's a giant spider. And the reason I had a tough time fighting it is because, well, I didn't know you could hold the button for flying. So I died many times. Way too many. Because in the regular levels, you have a limited time of flying. But against these bosses, you can fly for unlimited time. Remember, I did say I'm not good at these games. And also, the enemy's controller, you only have 2 buttons. And well, let's just say that I'm just stupid. On the next level in South America, you literally fight against the sun, or the Inca sun god. It's basically the same fight as a spider, just flying around and shooting him. And this time, I didn't die as much. The next one, in Egypt level, you fight against a crawfish. And it's just the same as the fish boss fight. The next one is in Antarctica. And this one is really funny because you get a fight against Frosty the Snowman. And this one's one of the unique ones out of all of the bosses. Even unique than the last one. Well, it's only unique because it's just Frosty moving back and forth and you're just using the statue power up. The next one is in Australia and you're fighting against a giant wasp, which is really fitting for Australia. But it's just the same as the flying ones as the ones before. And now for the last one, which is in Asia. And this one, well, you get a fight against the devil. Or I think it's the devil. It's just some flying big red guy with bat wings. So I'm guessing it is the devil. Well, it's fitting for a Bible game, but it's kind of weird because it's really not a Bible game that has so much weird stuff in it. So let's just guess that it is devil. I mean, he's red and he has the large wings, so yeah, Noah's fighting against the devil. Oh, by the way, each time you defeat a boss, you save the animal from that specific area. As when you defeat the devil, well, you save the panda. And that's the end of the game. You save every animal and you went to the Ark. There's no cutscene at the end or anything. You just get a screen that shows you how much points you made throughout the whole game. Oh, and shows how much secret levels you found. I only found 1. This is because you have to shoot around the levels to find these secret levels, and well, it's just a bonus point level, that's all it is. But yeah, that's the end of the game. No cutscene, you just go back straight to the menu. It's a decent game. It reminds me of some of the bullet hell types of games. But yeah, I could kind of recommend it if you just want to play an old goofy game. I would say just give it a try. You can either try it with an emulator, or you can go on Steam and find the game there, which is very surprising, as it surprised me, because as I looked in Steam, most of the Bible games from the NES era are all on Steam. Even that super weird one, Super Noah's Ark, the Wolfenstein clone, is on there. I will probably review more Bible games later down on the line, even some of the modern ones today. Even that one, the one game that you play as Jesus Christ. But I'm almost done talking about Noah's Ark, because I really want to know if there was any commercials or any advertisements for this game. Because how would they advertise this game? I know this was sold only in Europe, but if this video gets enough views, I want to know if anyone has played this game when they were young. I would like to see them in the comments if any of you guys have any stories playing this game. I would like to hear them. I thought of something very funny, because since this game was made by Konami, we can probably see Noah in the next Super Smash game, or DLC. He has all the powers that can be used for a unique moveset, and it will be really very funny to see him one day. I mean, we got Doom Guy, who has a costume, we got Sans has a costume, but probably Noah, he could probably come back in the next Super Smash game. But anyways, that's all I have for today. Sorry for not uploading for 3 weeks, or 4 weeks by the video this is uploaded. I had finals and a busy Christmas weekend, so I decided to take a break. But I'll be back on doing videos since it's a new year. So yeah, I have a lot of things storing for this year, so be ready for them. But that's all we have today. This is Mazer signing out. I hope you guys had a great day and a happy new year.